TV, and welcome to another episode of Down and Dirty. Today we have some amazing entrepreneurs here, and they're going to talk about their struggles and success. So before we even get started, let them introduce themselves. We'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Danielle. I am one of the owners of 4K Pathway to Success. We have a course where we teach people how to do Airbnb and rent cars with Turo. So I'm also an Airbnb superhost in the Atlanta area as well.
Go ahead.
Hey, I'm Ja'Cory. I'm a videographer. I do freelance work all throughout Metro Atlanta, weddings, reality shows, all things of that nature, basically.
Hi, my name is Jamelia. I make aromatherapy gel wax candles and CBD skincare products. And my brand name is Ari Essence.
Okay.
And my name is Bakari. I'm mainly into entertainment, I do modeling, acting, as well as YouTube as well.
Okay, well, seems like everybody got a different trade of everything. Loosen up a little bit. So we're going to get it started. We're going to get it popping. What motivates you guys on days you want to give up?
Well, I'll be ready for money.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Danielle.
Because nobody works for free.
Exactly.
Work for money. The whole point of doing this is for money. And the money is not just for me. It's setting myself up for a better future. I don't have kids, but one day I'm going to have kids, and I want them to have a good life.
Right.
So I just always keep the bigger picture in my head.
Okay. The money.
For me, it's like helping people. So I'm a social worker as well. So with my CBD skincare products, I'll be able to help a lot of people, like with opioid crisis, and just getting my community to find natural ways to heal themselves. So that's what kind of motivates me when I don't feel like doing certain things.
That makes sense.
I would say, money is an essential part, but I would also say things I haven't done yet. So there's a lot of times I would get projects I haven't done yet, and I wouldn't charge people a lot because it motivates me to actually do it first before I start charging what I usually charge.
Right. Okay. And so if you guys can remember any advice that someone gave you starting off, whether it be positive or negative, what was it and what did you do with it? That's right. That's a favorite advice. Anything that you could think of that stuck with you. I know for me, it was like when people were like, well, you would never be like a great entertainment host.
That's what I'm gonna say. It wasn't so much words of encouragement that people did. It was more people doubting me, like,
okay, and tell us about that and what you did with it.
With Airbnb, there's multiple ways that you can do Airbnb. The most common one is for you to rent out an apartment like this and you run out of Airbnb. So there are risks that are involved.
Right.
And so a lot of people would basically try to put fear into you, like, oh, what if you get caught? What if you just... It's like, no, I don't have time for all that.
Exactly.
My head is in the game. I'm going to do this and we're going to make it successful, and that's it. So that was it. No words of encouragement on my end.
Okay. So you took what they said and you said, you know what, I'm going to kill it.
Exactly, right.
Okay.
Yeah, I got three. My top three, which is the one is don't count money before it's in your pocket.
Speak of that again.
Yeah, don't do that because then you're going to start worrying where it's at, but it's not already finalized. So second thing is never give up, always stay committed. Third thing is always have patience.
Right.
Be patient.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. One thing that somebody was telling me was that, you shouldn't focus on the people that aren't supporting you. You should focus on the people that are supporting you. And
Right.
when you focus on that, it's pretty much your target audience, and that will grow over time versus like thinking negatively and wondering like why your friends aren't always there for you, why they aren't always reposting stuff for you, because they're not necessarily your target audience. They're like there for your like build up process, but then after that you gotta like be a bird, like a little bird, and just fly.
And what about you, Bacardi?
I would say, I guess a little bit feeding off what Ja'Cory said, like you never want to count it before, you know what I'm saying, into the pockets, of course, and you got it in the bank account and all that.
Right.
Because definitely with audition, you see what you could potentially make, and then that's gonna throw you off from your actual talent, your art. You know what I'm saying? If you're like, hey, I can make this, then when you don't get it, you're gonna be sitting around looking like,
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
do it and all that. So I just sometimes like even with auditions, I just like I'll submit and make sure it's done, all that. But I can say like I kind of train myself to forget about it. So it's like if I don't make it, I forgot about it already, or like you know what I'm saying, I'm not really tripping.
Right.
But if I do, it's just like, hey, okay, it came in. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. But,
Right. Okay, and like I like that you touched on support because support is a verb. Like a lot of times when we are going through things, our friends aren't our cheerleaders. Our friends are the main ones. Like, let me see. So, what would y'all feel about that? Are you, when it comes to support, are you looking at your friends and family? Are you just focusing on the end game? What about that?
Me personally, my whole family told me to go to college, do things they wanted me to do. I was so adamant in what I wanted to do in life. I always knew I wanted to do film since a very young age. Always watching movies and stuff. So I started acting and modeling just like Bacardi 2 or 3 years ago. And I was on the top Harry studios and stuff like that. And that just motivated me to do my own films. I didn't want to be in people's films anymore. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to create my own films.
Anybody else? Talk about support.
Well, over time, I got used to, like support fading away from my friends. Like they will always, repost stuff for me, but I couldn't expect them to go as hard as I was going for my own brand because it's my brand. So like I wouldn't take it. I stopped trying to take it personally, and whenever I would meet new people or like people in my expertise of my brand or like just customers and stuff like that, they always show me support, and I realized over time that support will always come.
Exactly.
Like it'll always follow no matter like.
Especially if you're giving out quality products and stuff like that. Right. Okay.
You pretty much have to earn it at that point.
Right. And sometimes I feel like you can't always, like you said, look for support in your friends because sometimes your clients or your customers aren't your friends. I mean, let's just be real. Our clientele is not our friends. It's outsiders or people that everybody has like a niche. So I feel like, yeah, our friends great for support, but that's not really where the money is coming from.
Right.
So that's something just I think a lot of people should think on.
And for me, as a business owner, it's more of a mental thing.
Right.
So as a friend, I don't need you to buy my product, but I need you to be there for me as a friend. Like,
Exactly.
If I'm coming to you, like, okay, I hit a rut in my business. I'm not asking you to invest in my business. I'm asking you to be a support system.
Exactly.
Because being an entrepreneur is not an easy journey. You have
Right.
ups and downs. And for me, I don't care if you repost it or not. That's not what matters. Not to me as a friend.
Okay.
Especially like the days when like maybe you don't make as much money as you think you're gonna make, and like maybe like for me I have events that I go to, so like I have long days, and usually like I look to my friends to be like, okay, like let's go get something to drink, let's go eat, but clear
Right.
my
Let's
mind.
just take a
Yeah, that's what I need them to do.
Did you guys have that moment in your head where you say, you know what, I gotta go hard? Whether that mean creating a side hustle or stepping out on faith and being a full-time entrepreneur.
I'll go first.
Go ahead, girl.
All right, so I still work my 9 to 5. I have my 9 to 5 and I do my business. And for me, I worked my 9 to 5. I graduated in May, started working there in November, and the company's a great company. It's cool, you get promoted, all that good stuff, right? But I was like kind of in a rut in life,
Okay.
and I wasn't satisfied with my check, and I wasn't satisfied with how my life was. I wanted more, and I was like, okay, what can I do? I was living at home with my mom, so I had saved up a lot of money.
That motivation.
Exactly. I was like, I can't just sit on this money. I know the only way to make money is to invest your money. So I was like, what can I do? I wasn't going to get another job. That was out the question. That was not even the option. I was like, I have to find something. So I went and I invested my money into somebody who could help me start an Airbnb. She was trash. It was a waste of money.
Talk about it.
Well, okay. She wasted my money, but I still got my Airbnb up and running. And once I realized that, like, it took me a while to get everything on the system, but it helped me realize that once you invest your money and your money is working for you, you have a different type of freedom.
Right.
And that motivated me even more because I don't know anybody in my family that's an entrepreneur. I've never seen an entrepreneur. Everybody has 9 to 5s, good 9 to 5s.
Talk about it,
They have really good jobs, but nobody was an entrepreneur. Nobody had the time that they really wanted to. They couldn't go to all their kids' games. They couldn't go to all the events. Sometimes had to miss out on family functions. And I was like, okay.
I don't want to be like that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If my money's working for me and I don't have to physically be there and I'm still able to collect the check, I can do whatever I want to do. So I was just like, that to me, it was like a light bulb went off. And I was like, I gotta do it.
Okay. That staying in your mama's house will definitely motivate you. You'll be like, all right,
Facts.
I gotta make some shape.
Right.
to piggyback off of what she said, you said your family never had an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I was grateful enough for my mom and dad to be entrepreneurs all their life, and really my mom got me on that pedestal to actually start my own business at 17. So looking at them really just being able to do whatever they want to do, whenever they feel like it, go on vacation. Let's go on vacation this week. You know what I'm saying? Just like that.
Let me put the PTO in,
You know
right.
what I'm saying? It motivated me, and I'm like, that's what, when I left high school, I got like a job or two, 1 year, but that's because I had to. But I just never focused on getting the job because I wanted to do things the way I wanted to do it.
Right.
So a lot of times, I sacrificed getting money that I needed, which is something I'm still trying to work on because you need to invest in your business, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, I can tell people this. You do sometimes need that 9 to 5 to get you the money you need to invest in your business. You're not going to get the money no place else. So, yeah.
Yeah, to talk about that, like a lot of people, like I'll go to events and they'll try to give people advice saying, oh yeah, you could quit your job after such and such, after you make this amount of money, but in reality, like there's a different type of freedom with working your 9 to 5 and having a business because you can invest. Like I invest some of my money from my job into my
your business, right?
My business makes more money, and
Right.
so it's like a
balance in
yeah.
it, right?
And for me, I was still in college. I was in grad school when I started my business. So at that time, I was not able to have like a full-time job. It was too time-consuming. So I was working in a restaurant and I hated it there. So like I quit and then I just started going harder with my business and to the point where I finally started my career field as a social worker, and everything that I do ties with social work. So it made it better for me to be able to reach more clients and still be able to reach my community at the same time. But the work struggle of like managing my time is the hardest part.
Right. And I like that you guys touched on a 9 to 5 because if you look on social media, a lot of people aren't transparent about their journey. A lot of people aren't transparent that you have to work a 9 to 5 sometimes to either get money to become an entrepreneur. So what are you guys' thoughts on that when you see somebody like, hey, I'm an entrepreneur, but they're not really transparent about how they got there?
I mean, if they want to fake it till they make it, they could do that. But I'm gonna be real because that's just me. Like I've always worked since like I graduated high school. I've always had a job, but I have bills to pay, and I'm not gonna take that risk right now just because I don't want to end up homeless. Like, not saying that I will, but it's just why struggle when I don't have to.
Right.
I have like 2 degrees, so I'm gonna use what I invested my money in already and use that to invest more money into what I actually want to do. It's like all the finesse at the end of the day.
Right. Okay. What about you, Bacardi?
I don't know. I would say I can agree with it. Me personally, I don't even think I'm in a position to be able to do that because of past, incidents and what happened like that.
Right.
So I can't work a typical 9 to 5 because of my, history or whatever. But I used to get money in the past. It was different. So
Right.
you know what I'm saying? A lot of things are limited. So now it's like, I don't know, especially this year. So, but like, it's really all I can do to actually do, basically generate something that's worthwhile, I guess you could say.
Right.
Other than that, really just, hustling. It's like every avenue I'm with it. Like, as long as it makes sense, But I don't really knock anybody that 9 to 5. It's just
Right.
Because especially when you're not planning on working there forever.
Exactly. Just a stepping stone.
Yeah, exactly. Because you
Extra money.
for right now, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Same way with, can we talk about, same way with dancers, like how they get their money. You know what I'm saying? They might be in college every day, it's quick money.
Exactly. Right.
So they're
Right.
investing in themselves at the end of the day. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't see anything wrong with it. So
Right.
it's like,
Some people haven't really got that leap of faith just yet, and I feel like that's okay if you haven't got it. But I just think that a lot of people don't really talk about you have to do this to fund your business. And like you said, even I'm in a situation like it's go hard to go home. Like April BTV is no other option. That's all I see right now. So I think that people should normalize that there are two different ways. You can either be a full-time entrepreneur, or you can be an entrepreneur still getting money and still having your 9 to 5. So I just think that there is ways that, if you're at home and you're like, dang, I really don't want to quit my job, but I still want to be an entrepreneur. You can go either way.
Right.
So I think that is really good that you guys really touched on
Take
that.
it step by step. Like eventually, I don't want to work a 9 to 5. So
Right.
I want to get to the point where I did build my business up in ways that like I can have different avenues of income. Right. Like it'll be making money for me when I'm at home, and like I could have other ways to make money versus having to go to work. I don't personally like working.
Right. Makes sense.
Right now, I gotta do what I gotta do.
And to speak on social media,
Come on
I feel
now.
like a lot of people, like right now, we getting stimulus checks, $1,400. I want to tell people, like, do not feel pressure. Everybody's telling you, take that $1,400 and start a business. Like, no, $1,400 is really not enough to start a business.
It's not rent $1,200 alone.
Exactly.
Come on now.
No, like, don't let social media pressure you into something. Like, entrepreneurship isn't for everybody, but you can start a little side hustle or something like that. I'm not saying it's for everybody, but you should try it. But don't feel pressured to do it, because I feel like when I'm on Instagram and I'm kind of part of the problem too, because I'm pushing entrepreneurship with my course.
Right.
But it's like, in a way, don't let people like me pressure you into something that you're not ready for.
Right.
Like, if you know you're not there, don't spend that $1,400 on starting a business when you are late on your rent. You have a car note to pay.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. Don't
Prioritize.
Prioritize. Don't
Right.
let social media get into you like that, because it will, and it'll eat you up.
I think a lot of people, like I noticed a big wave of like businesses starting once coronavirus started, and like I feel like now it's kind of dwindling down because people's hearts wasn't in it.
Right.
Again,
Yeah.
like it was just a quick come up, which I respect because they found a way to make them money, extra money on the side.
Right.
But like now you start to feel the actual pressure of being an entrepreneur.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's not just easy. It's not easy at all. So the people that aren't really in it for the right reasons, I feel like are backing away now.
Right.
And you can see the difference.
Yes.
And I also found the benefit of having a business, because as soon as the pandemic started,
Right.
I was like, wow, like I hate staying in the house. I really hate staying in the house. And the first week I was in the house, I was just like miserable. And then I had to realize, like, I have a whole business. I mean, the end of the week, I started getting so many calls for business, and I was working, making money while everybody,
It's trying to look for jobs.
looked for a job
Right.
and got laid off and stuff. So it was an actual huge benefit for me because of the pandemic.
And I think COVID really, actually, like you said, pushed a lot of entrepreneurs. But I think that if you're not ready just now, you should start getting prepared. Because if this happens again, who knows, in the end of times or whatever, you need to be able to make a living, regardless. Because like even when people were working, they laid off hundreds of people. What are you supposed to do? Like, if you couldn't find a job right now, let's just be real. The jobs that are available are Amazon, jobs that nobody with a degree really wants to work.
Right. And
So
people help their risk.
yeah, exactly. It's putting people's health at risk, and I just feel like $15 for my health at risk, and then it's still not gonna pay my bills. Like, that's not really motivating me, to even get up. So I just think that people should definitely start looking into that. But what do you guys feel about generational wealth? Are you currently working on that? Do you want to leave something to your kids?
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course.
That's definitely big.
Okay. Go ahead.
What you say?
She said she didn't want it. If you don't want it, I'm not saying that's fine, but
That's even better.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it happens, I guess it happens. But that's not really what I'm working
well, generational
for.
wealth in general.
Yeah, like I would love, like I have little brothers, so like I would love for them to be spoiled and like they could go get whatever they want. But in the end, like my main goal is I want to live in a beach house and just be happy.
Okay.
At the end of the day, like that's what my tunnel visions are.
I think when you have kids, you probably.
Yeah, but
that's right.
Not.
Right. Okay, what about you?
I feel like, that's definitely a big thing. It's like, you want to leave something behind. That's like, you gotta leave something behind. It's not a legacy. You behind, like, something. Like, value, something of value so they're straight regardless of what your children do. Like, they're gonna be straight and have the ability to be able to invest in whatever they're trying to invest in.
Right.
I feel like generational wealth itself is like, it's a big thing. Like, it's mandatory for me.
Exactly.
Sometimes.
Same. Anybody else?
So that's my whole reason, like my whole purpose. I don't say my whole purpose in life, but that's what I work towards. Cause I feel like my mom did the best she could with what she was giving. I feel like most of my college tuition was paid out of pocket by her. I want to be able to do something like that for my children. Like my whole purpose and everything that I do, my whole reasoning for working hard is for my future children. I don't have children right now because I want to be prepared when I
And they
have
come,
them.
exactly.
Like I don't want to have like a oops and now I got to figure out what I got to do. Like no, I'm gonna be prepared. I'm gonna be happy and like ready for my child. And when I'm gone, they're not gonna have to worry and stress about something. I'm gonna have something to give to them.
Right,
to
laid out.
continue to build up.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
With me, it's not my mandatory goal right now. It is my last goal to accomplish. Right now, I'm just making sure that my business runs itself. Then I will focus on the generational growth.
Okay. So to see where your businesses started a few years ago, a few months ago, a few weeks ago, and to see where they are today, do you see growth, and how did you come across that?
Well, yes, I started off how it all started was I just needed an outlet for all the things I was hearing at work. It was really draining to me, and I would take everything home, and I didn't have a way to like let it go besides like personally. But like, so I just got up one day and was like, I'm gonna learn how to make candles, but I didn't want to make candles like how everybody else was doing it. And like I just went to the store and I saw gel wax and I was looking up what they look like when you make them. So I pretty much taught myself how to make these candles. So to see like what they used to look like versus like now is a big difference. And over time, like I added on the CBD skincare. I did that because my grandfather has arthritis, so he would be like using a cane, like he wouldn't be able to walk around as much or go outside and stuff. So I was able to help him with that, and I was really happy that I could do that.
That's
for
nice.
somebody. And just to see what I have done so far and what I could possibly do in the future, that's what keeps me motivated, because I know that, you know, like my mind is crazy. Like I would come up with the wildest ideas and I don't know where they come from. So it's exciting.
Okay, I like that.
I mean, definitely. I feel like, you know, I'm still not, Denzel.
Right, exactly.
Like, you don't even see me. Well, a couple people have, but like, you don't really see me out there, like, on big screen this year. So just like a couple of different TV networks and stuff like that. That's cool and all, but it's just like, I guess last year I wouldn't have been able to even say that. So it's just like it's progression.
Exactly.
It's not something that's gonna come overnight. So it's just like
You gotta keep working at
but
it every day.
right. I definitely got better, and I'm with the agency right now. But the next step is to get a bigger agency. You know what I'm saying? And then like just keep going up from there. Like it's levels to everything. But yeah, definitely. I feel like I progressed since I would say last 10 out.
All right. Go ahead, Dan.
For me, I definitely feel like I've grown. I feel like I started off with like one little Airbnb, and from there I saw a lot of attention towards it when I put it on Instagram and stuff. People had so many questions about how I did it. People didn't think it was a realistic thing, and a light bulb went off. Like, let's create a course. We also know how to do Turo. A lot of people don't know about Turo. We created a course, and now I think we just hit over 700 students.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me get on
701.
So it's like in less than 2 years, I went from having one Airbnb to having 700 students teaching them how to do Airbnb and Turo and credit. So it's like,
Wow.
Yeah.
What's Turo?
car there. So a lot of people, my 9 to 5 is enterprise, right? So I don't know how many people can't qualify for a rental car at the big rental places. Turo is like another alternative. It's typically a little bit cheaper, and it's just it's less hassle in order to rent a car. Like everybody don't want to have to show bills and stuff like that to get a rental car.
Okay.
So it's just way easier, way more convenient, and you can do long term. It's easier.
So it's like an Airbnb for life.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow.
Exactly what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's crazy. I saw like a video like on that like the other day, and he was just saying like he went from like 1 car to 2, and he said he got his credit in order, And then he was going from like this dealership to the next, and he got like 33 cars.
It was a
Wow.
CEO, Matty J.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
yeah.
Because he does
He
luxury
going
cars. Yeah, he
Yeah,
does
going
luxury
crazy.
cars. Yeah, Lamborghinis and stuff. I ain't
Yes.
getting
No, but I'm saying like the concept. I
But yeah,
understand.
the people like that make me realize like it's totally doable. Like
Yeah.
nothing is out of reach. Like you can
Exactly.
do anything. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, everybody that's doing something, you feel like they're an expert. Once upon a time, they didn't know.
Exactly, right.
So if they figured it out, you figured it out too. That's how.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times we don't take time to just reflect on the growth, like, you know, where we started, because we're like, dang, it's not going right, it's not doing this. And you look at me like, hold up. I came a long ride. I went from 0 to 20, and now I got 5. So it's just really good to take that time to reflect on just the growth that you're going through. And like you said, you know, you went from 1 Airbnb to 700 during COVID. You kind of made a way. You now an agency, you now a client. So you all have different things that when you look back, you're like, dang, I wasn't doing good, but now I'm teaching people. You know, people asking me what it is, what it ain't. So I think that that's really cool. What advice would you give to someone that is in your shoes that wants to be an entrepreneur?
Well, I just was thinking of like quotes that I read before, and it was saying that entrepreneurship is pretty much just self-growth. So you're always practicing making yourself better every day. And then another quote that I always see is, you know, if you give up where you are right now, it'll take you. I'm bad at it. It's like if you give up right now, you'll start off where you left off versus just keep going and like you can make small accomplishments along the way versus just giving up where you're at.
Right.
And you can potentially be like right there.
Yeah.
Exactly, at that right there.
Learn from your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Learn from your mistakes, improve.
Yes.
You know, don't be scared to do things you haven't done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like a lot of stuff is oversaturated right now, but I'll tell you the difference between someone who is successful and someone who's not is just commitment and consistency. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
That's the only difference between most business owners. Someone was consistent, they went through the hard times, they failed, they went broke, but they stayed consistent and now they're winning in the end. So for me, consistency is the biggest thing you can do or have as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. To piggyback off of what Kari is doing, which is YouTube, right?
Well, yeah, but I put that on pause for a minute, but I will be back.
But
They kind of cut it off short. So they said I got like maybe a week until they cut my like monetization because I ain't posted in almost 6 months. So like no money for me if I don't, you know, get back on it like ASAP. So.
I mean, but YouTube is just like a business, and business is YouTube because she was talking about consistency. When it comes to YouTube, I used to do YouTube back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like young teenagers just into YouTube and stuff. You can post 100 videos, and that one video is gonna catch steam. You know what I'm saying? Catch heat. You can practice and work in your business for 2-3 years compared to somebody doing it 5 years. The more you do it, you know what I'm saying, the possibility of something happening.
Right. I like that Danielle touched on, you know, different areas being oversaturated because I feel like even though it may be, everybody does things different. You know, everybody, just because you do this, it's like, yeah, we do the same thing, but I can probably do it 10 times better. Let's just be real about it.
Yeah.
So I just think that shouldn't discourage anyone. A lot of people see that and they're like, dang, you know, everybody is a YouTuber, everybody's a host, and it's like, but everybody can't do it like you. So it's kind of like, what are you bringing different? So I think that as entrepreneurs, you always have to look at what you're doing different. Like, how can you add this? You know, how can you add your own flavor to different things? So
yeah, that's definitely something that I struggle with because it's like everybody makes candles. Right? Like there's a million candles out here, and like I kind of just quiet out everybody else that's like probably on the same level as me. And I look at like Bath and Body Works as my biggest competition. Like I want to be better than them. I want to be better. Like I don't look at people like that I go to events with as my competition because it's like, well, we all making a way. And mine, I feel like I have to find a way that makes it different. So usually people will be like, oh, I've never seen a gel wax candle before. And then I always market it as that it's aromatherapy, so it helps people with their moods and like helping them be calm. And so like you just have to find a purpose. And one thing that I did learn was that you have to tell people how it'll make their lives better.
right, to tell them why they need this. Right.
That's smart because I mean, my dad used to always say there's nothing new under the sun. You know what I'm saying? The same thing he was doing 30, 20 years ago. It's the same thing we're doing, you feel me?
Right.
So it's like, it's really just your creativity making a difference. That's all it is.
Can any of you think of maybe the lowest moment you faced and how did you get out of it? Like, what was the moment you was like, dang, this is my lowest moment? You know. Okay.
Yeah, like, well, coronavirus happened and like a couple of my family members passed away, so like I just didn't want to make candles anymore.
Right.
Like I was like, I don't like that was something I did when I was happy, and like I don't believe in making them when I'm sad or like upset and stuff, because I feel like that's energy that I'm putting in.
Right.
Yeah, so like I was just low for a long time, and it took a lot of people like. I wasn't posting anything. I wasn't saying anything about candles at all. But people kept hitting me up like, "Oh, are you still making candles? I want this, and I need this, and I need that." I'm like,
Give me a second.
Right? Like I don't know when I can do that. You know, maybe you can go here. Like, but then I didn't really feel comfortable telling other people to buy stuff from. I'm like, well, they're coming to me, so I need to get it together and do something. So over time, like. Because of my customers that I had already built a relationship with, they kept coming back asking me for stuff. That's what pretty much pulled me up out of that rut and made me realize that like people actually like what I'm doing. They actually use what I make, so I can't just like leave them hanging.
Right. Just let it. I'm glad you came out of that though, because the clients, hey, they need you.
Yeah, they don't care about it.
Exactly. That's one thing. Clients don't really care about what you're going through. So you, even when you're having bad days, you're like, I gotta brush it off. Like I gotta keep it moving. So that's really good. Anybody else?
I guess my lowest moments is when I don't research before I do a project, especially for something I haven't done before.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So basically, I would go to the project or the event or whatever I'm doing, do it without any details on how to do it, and I'd be done with it. Don't have enough footage, or didn't film it right, or didn't have the right angle. So that definitely like shut me down. I'm like, dang, am I really supposed to do this? But I know I have so much potential because people say I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times it's when I don't research before I do it.
And that can hurt you in the long run because of pricing as well. Like, yeah.
People pay their money.
Yeah,
So,
people.
yeah.
Anybody else? Yeah. Okay.
No, I was gonna, elaborate on that. I guess. I don't know. Like, I feel like, well, even back to the original. I'm trying to tie it in.
Yeah, go ahead. Of course.
Like, I feel like if you allow like certain, events and situations, anything that comes your way to like discourage you or like stop you from doing whatever you dream of doing or whatever you're ambitious about, I feel like, it's not even cut. Like, you need to be an entrepreneur in the first place.
Right.
Like, you're not here for it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can't just keep it pushing. And if you really want this, you're gonna go for it all the way.
Exactly.
So it's just like, I feel like that really separates the two from like, I hate to say it, but the workers and the bosses.
Hey, tell it. Talk about it.
Taking accountability. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, when I was working, it was like when I was a couple months into the company, and it was like I was coming up and I was eligible for a promotion. I got passed up, and it was like life flashed before my eyes.
You're like, hold up.
Wait, because I was like, wait a minute, what if I actually have to work this position the rest of my life, and I'm making like $45,000 a year, and I was like, oh no, this is not even an option, and it's just like. I don't know, it's like life flashed before my eyes, and I was like, it's not gonna be my life.
Right.
I refused, and I also was like, I can't depend on this job to put me where I need to be financially. They're not gonna do it for me.
Right.
Like, they don't know me, I'm just another employee. Like, it's a
Exactly.
huge company, they don't know who I am. So, that was my lowest point, getting passed up for promotion.
Oh, that's what it was, the lowest point. I wish you would have talked about it.
But do you have the lowest moment? Okay.
I mean, she's quite, yeah. I say he know about it. It was just like, it was at one point in time, and, my cousin over there, you know about it as well, but there was a lot going on social media. Like, I had like a lot of bashing going on between, me and another individual. It was like, but at the same time, I also had a lot of like support.
Mm-hmm.
So like that built me back up. I was like down here, but then what I'm saying, level up 6 feet type. And it was just like, it was people from like Nigeria, like all over the country, like in the world, of course, and they were just saying like, bro, do it, like you still got it, don't, let this get to you. But it was like it was more supporters than people down here.
Right.
And they didn't even know the truth, and I didn't even feel like explaining myself.
Right.
But it was just like, that definitely brought me back up. But it's just, I feel like I've been through so much to this point. It's just like life in general. Like,
Exactly.
you gotta keep going. Like, I can't. I've come too far to stop now. That's how it feels.
That everything that we was just talking about, it's important also to like work on your mental health as an entrepreneur. Like you can't just work and not take a break for yourself and not like take time to decompress. That's something I definitely learned along the way, is that I have to stop because my body's just gonna shut down on me without me feeling like I'm ready to stop.
Right.
So if I don't want that to happen and I'm not prepared for that to happen, I have to take time to myself. Like maybe on the Sundays, like I'm just chilling. I'm not talking to nobody. Like I just need time to myself, and that's something that I feel a lot of people don't actually take the time to do. They just feel like, oh yeah, I could sleep when I'm dead. And all that.
That
No,
mentality is toxic.
Exactly right. You've been working
toxic.
I found right with it.
I mean, it's like, if you've been working for 13, because I do catch myself sometimes, I'm like, dang, I start working at 12, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Like, let me take a nap. But I think that it is some days where I'm like, all right, maybe I should just relax. Because like when you start doing things so much, you're like, all right.
because you're not working at 100%.
Exactly.
You have to recharge battery.
Exactly. Makes sense.
I would hit it from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Exactly, right? And then the footage, start looking crazy. Like,
And you don't know how it feels until, okay, there's like 3 instances, right? So it's like, right, the power went out. The power went out. It usually has this auto save, rather if you choose 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, but rather you didn't save it enough time, or the whole computer crashed and you have to restart
right.
the whole entire project. I mean, I don't do reality. I don't do reality shows.
Exactly. I need to nap now.
Yeah, it takes. I mean, you
And
gotta
a
patience.
glass of wine.
I feel like those instances are different, but like when you just got yourself booked up to the point where you don't even have time for yourself, that's when you got to take a step back. Because like I've had events every weekend so far since the year started, and like this is the first weekend that I'm just like sitting down.
Right. We're glad you're here with John. I think we really got some great conversation in. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show. Hopefully we help entrepreneurs at home. If you want to be an entrepreneur, hopefully this episode really encouraged you to go out there and get it. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at AvrielBTV. And we'll see you next week for another episode of Down and Dirty. Bye guys.
Bye.